What's good, y'all? Terry Warfield. Yo, it's hot as balls out here. I'm talking about hot. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, hope you're having a great day so far, man. If this is your first time here, a big fat welcome to you. And if you're part of the family, part of the squad, you came back, yo, welcome back. Yo, before we get started, I just gotta let you know, if this is your first time on this channel, this is one of the dopest channels that you're gonna find if you're into filmmaking, photography, and camera gear. So if you have not subscribed, now is the time to do it. And who's gonna be the first to like the video? I wanna know who's gonna be the first. If you haven't done that, go ahead and drop that now. We gotta talk. A lot of y'all know I pre-ordered the Sony A7S III, and I cannot lie, yo, I am freaking pumped for it. Cannot wait. And since then, a lot of people have sent me this type of message. Yo, T, I got a Sony A6600. Do you think I should upgrade to the Sony A7S III? Or T, I got a Sony A7 III. Do you think I should upgrade to the Sony A7S III? And my first response is always, yo, why do you think you need that camera? And then they usually go silent. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to talk about some reasons why I think you shouldn't order the Sony A7S III or maybe the Canon EOS R5, whatever it is, and why you should maybe put that money elsewhere. See, some of y'all are wanting to order this camera thinking that this is gonna be the magic pill that you need to take your photos and videos to the next level. Listen, a race car is useless without a good driver. Conversely, a $5,000 camera is useless without a good operator. So people that are thinking this newfangled camera that costs $4,000 is gonna automatically improve their photography or video, whatever it may be, you're wrong. So let's talk about some things that we could possibly do instead with that money that could take our filming or photography to the next level. Because let's be honest, the A7S III, the Canon EOS R5, $4 grand after taxes, give or take a few dollars. There's a lot you could do with that money. A whole lot you could do with that money. And sorry if y'all hear the cheerleaders at the background. My stepdaughter's practicing, so I'm out here filming. But there's a lot you could do with that money. If you are new to filmmaking or photography, if you have not maximized the potential of your current camera, and you really gotta step back and say, do I understand this camera? Have I literally got to a point where I can extract whatever it is at any given moment under any situation out of this camera? I can get killer footage or photos under all of those pretenses. If your answer is no, I got a few things you need to think about on why you shouldn't upgrade. First of all, lenses. If you have a camera, even an expensive camera like the Sony A7 III or EOS R5 or A7S III, if you don't have good lenses to take advantage of that sensor, you're missing out. One of the most important things that you can do with any camera to upgrade your image quality, whether it's photo or video, is invest in better lenses. And I'm not even saying that you got to spend a ton of money on lenses, but do you know how cheap some great quality lenses are that can totally transform the way your pictures and your videos look? Have you thought about that? The second thing that you need to think about is lighting. Photography, filmmaking is all about lighting. And if you don't have an understanding of that, if you don't have any extra lighting, also, you're missing out. If you do photography, you haven't discovered an off-camera flash, you missing out. If you do filmmaking or YouTube or whatever, you haven't discovered adding additional lights to your setup, whether it be on set, whether it be in your own personal studio, what lighting can do to improve your image quality, whoo, you're missing out. The last thing you need to think about is audio. I got a fun fact for you. Most people will watch a video even if it looks like trash as long as they can hear it. However, most people will not watch a video if the audio is trash, no matter how good it looks. So I'm not proclaiming to be some audio master. However, just buying things like upgraded microphones over the one built into the camera, or getting your microphone off camera. Like, there's a lot of things you could do in the audio world that can really drastically improve your audio. So all of those things together, understanding of your camera, lighting, lenses, audio, and there's more. Until you have that stuff mastered, a new camera that costs $4,000 is not gonna help you out. Now, if you're like me and you got most of that stuff mastered, like I said, I'm not an audio specialist, however, I do know how to get at least decent audio. But when it comes to the filming and photography part, I can get whatever I want out of this camera under any situation, whether it's external lighting, whether it's filming, whether it's photography, whether it's flash photography, whether it's low light, all of that stuff. I have totally mastered both cameras that I own. So that's the reason why I personally want the A7S III. Don't get it twisted. The A7 III is an absolute monster. And if you haven't watched my last video, you need to go watch that right after this video. That link is up there. The A7 III is still killer. But I'm at a point in my creative journey where if there is something else better and I have access to it, I will like it, which is why I want a Sony A7S III. So let's talk about my favorite things that I'm pumped for. And I'm not gonna list everything, just a few. The flip out screen. The flip out screen, as well as it being a touch screen that I can actually touch, interact with, and all of that stuff. If you have a Sony camera that does not have a flip out display, I have another link for you. That's right up there. Click that link and order you one of these mirrors. It's 20 bucks, fixes the whole thing. I can see myself, my exposure, all of that stuff. It's right on top of the camera, 20 bucks. But I would love to not have to do that. I would love to have a screen I can actually touch and manipulate instead of the relatively unfriendly menu systems that the Sony have. What else? I cannot wait for 4K 120 frames per second. Y'all know I'm the slow-mo king, but we gotta be honest. Sony's 120 frames per second is a bit mushy. It's not really that sharp, is it? Sorry about the wind noise. I hope you can still hear me, but it's not that good. So if I can get 4K at 120 frames per second, sign me up, sign me up. I'm also looking forward to the increased dynamic range, low light performance. I am really looking forward to active stabilization. Right now, I'm holding this camera on a gimbal. My shoulder hurts, my back hurts. I'm ready to put this thing down. If you've never used the Sony ZV-1, active stabilization is just a mode where the Sony will crop in a little bit further on the sensor and apply some digital stabilization, but it works so freaking good, and I cannot wait to get that. Now, on the A7S III, it does result in a 10% crop, which, you know, I'm willing to live with that to get way more smooth handheld footage. The next thing I'm extra pumped about is 10-bit color, 422 internal, without having to use an external monitor, any of that stuff. And I can do all of this stuff in camera with the exception of 16-bit 4K raw 60 frames a second, because with that you need an external recorder. But is this a big deal to most people? No. But again, if you're making films and stuff like that, having as much color data and color depth is important. And honestly, color depth, color space has been something that Sony's have just been, let's be honest, lagging behind the competition. So it's good that they finally caught up. I'm also extra pumped about full-size HDMI, no rolling shutter. The list goes on. There's so many things about the A7S III that I just can't wait for. But again, that's not saying that everybody should be grabbing one. Think about those things that I talked about in this video, and if you've mastered those, then you look at possibly upgrading. But also, you know, even though I did order a new camera, the best tool is the one that you have. So don't think just because you have not ordered a new camera, or maybe you can't right now, that all of a sudden your current setup is inferior, because it's not. Keep using what you got until you can get something else. But anyways, I hope this video was at least some type of helpful. My back hurts, my shoulder hurts, I'm sweating, I'm out of breath, and I'm done talking. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Peace and chicken grease. I'm out, Terry Warfield. Peace.